How does the YouTube algorithm work?
It's magic. That's
It
all you
is.
need to know. It's magic.
In the early days, it was really all about view count. Then in 2012, there was a shift to watch time started to become more important. And now in 2025, what we're seeing is AI driven personalization.
Metadata is the stuff that is not the content itself. It goes around it. It relates to it. It gives more information about the content.
Hello, everyone, and thanks for joining us for this episode of the Marketing Guides for Small Business podcast. My name's Paul, and I'm joined by Ken Tucker from Changescape Web, Ian Cantle from Outsource Marketing, and Jeff Steck from Telerica Marketing Systems. So today we're talking about the YouTube algorithm. It's not geeky, don't worry. It's about how you can understand it and use it. But it isn't guesswork. It's a very sophisticated algorithm. Most of you probably know that Google actually owns YouTube. And it tries to predict what viewers want to watch and show them what they want to watch. And understanding how it works can help you grow your channel and reach more viewers. So, Ken, can you talk about the evolution of the YouTube algorithm?
Yeah, absolutely. So in the early days, it was really all about view count. And so, what that basically means is, what was the biggest ranking factor tended to be if your videos were being viewed or not. And so people used to do things like batching videos and then blasting out all of their friends and getting them to go watch that video within the first 30 minutes that it was published, to try to increase the view counts. And that helped get it listed in the algorithm and displayed to other people. Unfortunately, that led to, where there were clickbaity titles and thumbnails that were created. So then in 2012, there was a shift to watch time started to become more important. So that was, how long could a particular video hold, a viewer's attention? And it did increase, the creators to do a better job of storytelling, creating higher quality videos, and really focused on delivering value. In 2016 or so, used to look at user behavior more deeply, looking at things like likes on a video, shares, comments, and session time. So how long somebody would stay on YouTube after watching your video. Also started to incorporate, some surveys to measure satisfaction of the viewers. And now in 2025, what we're seeing is AI-driven personalization. So the algorithm is deeply rooted in using AI and machine learning, and it now customizes recommendations by looking at an individual's watch history and preferences, engagement metrics like time, click-through rates, likes, comments, and shares, viewer patterns among similar audiences. And so that's also led to the rise of YouTube Shorts playing a pivotal role. These short-term videos now serve as a great discovery tool and often help to reach a broader audience more quickly, and therefore, are playing that key role in individual watch history and user engagement and things like that.
Yeah, it's always the crooks and scammers that make everything difficult for the rest of us. So Ian, Ken touched on this a little bit, but how, without going into techno land, how does the YouTube algorithm work?
It's magic. That's all you need to know. It's magic. In a sense, it is so sophisticated that it is kind of magical in a way. Like all the algorithms, it's incredible the human ingenuity that's been put into these in order to serve a purpose, right? And as with everything Google does, the purpose of its algorithms are to keep people using their tools, especially on the SEO side, right? Paid side is an entirely different conversation, but on the SEO, the organic side, the longer you'll stay on their platform. So in this case, we're talking YouTube. The longer you stay on the YouTube platform, the more it benefits Google and its advertisers. So, some of the key things about the algorithm are the behavior you show. So personalized recommendations are based on the user behavior analysis. Like, what do you watch? How long do you watch things for? What are the topical interests you have? Those, even things like where you located, all of that kind of stuff can play into. Google even takes into context that your viewing context. So, what time of day is it? How long have you been on there? What I find fascinating, because with the advent of smart TVs and how I use YouTube personally, I'm looking at it as a user, but also as an SEO and kind of a data scientist. I'm trying to figure out, like, this is so interesting how now this is specifically related to the ads that show up when I'm watching YouTube, but it's kind of part of the user experience. So that's why I'm mentioning it. But even like how long the YouTube ads are, I don't know if you guys watch stuff on smart TVs through YouTube, but I always find it interesting. Like the duration of ads differ radically. And I haven't analyzed it enough or researched it enough to know, like, what is it specifically that Google's looking at, whereby it will extend the ads from like a 30-second ad. Sometimes it's even like a 10 to 20-second ad, right up to like 2 minutes. And I always find that interesting. Just, something is going on in the algorithm. But Google's looking at click-through rates, watch time and retention, negative feedback, right? Because you can provide feedback, engagement metrics. Am I liking videos? Am I commenting on them? Am I sharing them? All of that kind of stuff plays a part. How do I interact with suggested videos? Because Google's serving up suggested videos through its algorithm based on all of the things we've already talked about. And then, yeah, the YouTube Shorts is an entirely different algorithm, as I understand it, and it's more reflective of like what everybody's trying to do, which is copy TikTok, and that's just feeds an endless stream of click algorithm bait to just keep you swiping, keep you on there as long as possible. But focusing on what users are engaging with and their satisfaction is really the key thing to making the most of that, or understanding the algorithm.
See there, and I thought the purpose of Google's algorithms was to make Google money.
Well, that's why I even mentioned paid ads, because that's how they make the money, right? They don't make money when
exactly how they make money.
Create videos. Yeah.
But what's interesting, when we talk about Google's looking at the videos you watch, user behavior, and I don't think they have any way to account for this. I know they don't, because if let's say I'm doing research on a topic for a particular client, I normally would never watch those videos, but I find YouTube suggesting these videos related to that.
Yeah, I see that all the time. I mean, I have a friend who owns a flower shop, and I am not like an avid flower shop.
You're a bird
buyer.
watcher.
But all of a sudden, when you start to like research their channels, their websites, their SEO, you start to get a lot more flower related ads, recommended videos, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, it is one of the hidden hazards of the business that we're in, right? These algorithms must wonder, like, what the heck is this going to do? His interests and things are so varied and broad in terms of topics and searches. But that brings up a tip for anyone who wants to kind of shield themselves from that a little bit. You can go to a different browser, go to in private window, turn a VPN on. There's a lot of ways to shield the stuff you're just passingly or casually interested in from the stuff you truly care about.
Just as a quick anecdote, I remember when my kids were younger. Well, I mean younger, when they were teenagers. I have two daughters, and the funny thing is that when they would use my Google login a lot, because it was set up on the TV, on some of the computers we used as a family. And so I'd go back into YouTube, and they would bookmark a whole bunch of things, and it might be on like makeup, it might be on manga videos, all sorts of kind of eccentric teenage tastes, right? And then all of a sudden I'm being served up all this stuff and I'm like, where's this coming from? Oh, yeah, that's why. So, parents beware. You might see some interesting recommended videos.
At least you knew what they were doing.
It's true. Yeah.
And then when certain things popped up, you go, hey, we need to have a conversation.
Yep.
So, Jeff, the next few questions, because there's a lot in this, so I'm going to kind of break it up between.
Yeah, we're going to round robin this one.
So, and I have some suggestions in there. So how do I improve my organic reach on YouTube?
Yeah. So let's kind of set the stage for that question. So YouTube is itself a search engine, right? You can go in the top and you can,
that is true.
Ask it a question, type in some keywords, type in some topics, and it will go out and it will look for videos that match that. And it's actually the #2 search engine, and it's owned by Google. So there's a lot of crossover between them, as we're just talking about. So that's why you want to improve your organic reach, is so that when people are looking for, not necessarily for you by name, but for what you do as a business, what you're into, the content you're providing, that type of content, you want it to be found. So when we talk about improving organic reach, that's the goal, is to get seen organically, not having to spend money on ads to grow. And of course, just like any other marketing channel, SEO type of thing, social media type of thing, you can grow organically or you can grow by paid ads. So we're going to talk specifically about getting found in YouTube searches. And to a certain extent, if you do a Google search, YouTube videos will show up in the organic part of Google as well. So really what we're trying to do is get our YouTube videos found organically, probably be a direct search in YouTube, but possibly elsewhere on Google. So just like a lot of things with SEO, it comes down to a lot of these structural things that you need to do along with your content, a lot of the metadata that sits next to the content itself. So the content in the YouTube world is, of course, the video. The metadata.
What's metadata? Can you explain that?
Yeah, so metadata is the stuff that is not the content itself. It goes around it. It relates to it. It gives more information about the content. It gives hints, clues, tips, or sometimes the way I'll describe it for what this content is about. So that if somebody's doing a search, that's going to show up before. The video, they're not going to be in a search result, see 10 videos automatically playing, right? They're going to see a description of 10 possible videos, or as they scroll through, they're going to see different videos, and it's going to have, the headline of the video. It's going to have a couple sentences about it, maybe some hashtags. Certainly if you're in shorts, you're going to see the hashtags that are loaded there. So what we're talking about is when you create a video and upload it, there's a lot of other stuff you need to do along with it to put all this metadata, the side data that goes along with the video to help it get found. So just like you would do that type of thing in a blog post on your website, you're going to have the meta description, you're going to have the title. All of those things are important in YouTube as well because they will be seen. So when you create and upload the content into YouTube, you want to make sure that you're addressing the keywords that you care to be found about. And this will carry into what you record in the content as well, because we're going to talk in a minute about, transcriptions and things like that. But you want to, as you're talking naturally through your video or however you're generating the video, whether it's a AI generated explainer video, whatever it is, you want to make sure that you're hitting the keywords that you want to be found in search in the content and then outside the content in terms of how you describe it when you upload it. So the tags, the meta description is the kind of the short description of what the video is that gets people, think of it as a enticement for people to click on it. So the keywords and the metadata that you upload are very, very important for getting found organically, because it's what the algorithms are going to look at and index when they're trying to match up your video for the search that somebody's doing. And when people see the search results of what they could click on, it's also going to help lead them into that. So metadata, just think of it as the data that's off on the side, and it gives context about the video. And again, use keyword research to figure out the most likely keywords people are going to be looking for so that your video can match up. I describe search as a question and answer machine, right? People are asking questions and you want your content to be the answer. So you want to line your content up as best you can with the questions people are asking, the phrases they're using, the way they're searching for it. And that extends to the file name. The file name of the video can have keywords in it. So don't upload, video 123 dot, whatever XYZ dot MP4, right? Put the keywords that you care to be found for and that are relevant to what the video is about actually in the file name. Use them in the title of the video that's going to show. Use them in the description and then tag the videos with the keywords. And that will help the content be found. You can use AI to help with that. There are even AI tools. I don't necessarily recommend you start with the video and then take it into AI and say, tell me what the keywords are, tell me what the description should be, because again, you need to think of that in advance and optimize for it before you record the video. But certainly once you record it, then you can take it back into AI and say, hey, now generate a 2-sentence description for me, generate a short, concise title for me, and it will do that. But you really want to work on optimizing that. The description itself can be a lot longer than 2 sentences. The first 2 sentences are what's going to be seen. But in the description itself, be liberal with describing what this video is about. Give a lot of details. You can outline, key things you're going to talk about in the video. You can, even if it's a longer video, break it into segments, use the chapters function. You can timestamp things. And then in the description, you can list out the timestamps. Let people know before they start watching the video what it's going to be about and why they want to stay and watch more of it. We're going to talk about that in a second. But be detailed, kind of give them the short version of what the video is about to entice them to watch the full version of the video where you give them all the details and all the information. And then in the description, that's a good place to put calls to action as well. You can have links. You can, put a little mini advertisement for your business or whatever you want people to do. So take advantage of all these features. It's more than just recording a 30-second video and uploading it. And then the transcription, once you do have the video, you can turn transcription on. You can maybe, for a more accurate transcription, take it into another tool or even a human. I think that's largely being replaced, but there are services that will have humans listen to the video and actually type up the transcription, but take that transcription and set it up with the video as the actual transcription. And again, this is searchable content, so it can help with being found. It can also help in the accessible community, people that maybe have a harder time hearing what the video is about, seeing it. And that's where also turning transcription on, turning captioning on in the video can come into play. But it has SEO value as well for getting found. So again, it's about taking advantage of all the tips and tricks and all the bells and whistles and all the things that you can do besides just, hey, here's a piece of content, let me upload it. It's all those other things that get set up. And then the last thing before I'm going to hand the baton off on this one is what we're really shooting for is whole video views. So you want people to watch the whole video, not be in 10 seconds and then jump away. If they jump away from your content, it actually counts against you. So you want to create really compelling content that is as long as it needs to be. What's the Abraham Lincoln quote? How tall are you? I'm tall enough so that my legs reach the ground or something. I'm as tall as I need to be, but not taller. That's what you want your videos to be, as long as they need to be, but not longer. Just don't drone on and on like I'm doing right now. Set the hook, have a really strong opening statement, provide the information that people need, match the expectations you set in the title. The title, remember, is a little bit of an advertisement for your video. So I think Ian was talking about, spammy thumbnails and spammy headlines. Don't do that. Set an expectation that your video is going to meet and then meet it in the video, and then divide the video up where it's appropriate and use chapters. Let people know what they're, signing up for in the sense of watching the video, and give them a reason to want to stay for the whole thing. And if you're looking at your analytics, use your analytics. And if you see people dropping off your videos early consistently, then you've got to question why. And maybe you should shorten your videos. Maybe you should break them up into 2. Maybe you should do a better job of setting expectations up front. But take advantage of all the features that Google has to get found, and then make sure that once people find you, they're staying around for the whole video because you're adding good value to them and providing the expectation, meeting the expectations that you've set.
And you can also embed that video on your website with that transcription.
Oh, absolutely. There are so much you can do. And I've talked before in other podcasts about repurposing content. Video is a great starting point, and then you can derive social media posts from it. If it's long enough video, you can probably derive a blog article from it. Video is a great starting point, and then you can take it into AI tools or just manually edit it and get a lot of other content from it.
All right, good stuff. So Ken, let's move on to you with same question.
Yeah, so I'm going to start out by focusing on things that are getting people to watch your videos and come back and watch your videos. So first couple of things are like the conversational conclusions, the way that you end your video, if you will. Do you have a call to action to ask people, hey, if you like this video, check out my next video on, and point them to that video. Using end cards to help just automatically direct people. We'll talk a little bit more here in just a second about playlists, but having videos and playlists that are auto played so that people can just kind of continue to watch all of that. And really what you want to try to do is you want to try to guide the viewer's journey, and so having a series of videos that you're talking about can be very, very beneficial. This goes back to exactly what Jeff was talking about, in whole watched videos. You want to try to get your videos to be watched the whole way, and having end cards, having calls to action at the very end, even a verbal call to action. Like I said, if you like this video, check out these other videos. Is a great way to do that. The goal is to keep people on your channel. When you keep people on your channel, that's a signal to the algorithm that your content is worth sticking around for, but also potentially recommending. So next, I want to talk about subscriptions. So subscriptions are also a signal that the viewer finds your content valuable enough to where they want to keep coming back. They want to know when you're producing new content. So you can grow your subscriber base in a variety of ways. You can have, personalized calls to action, where you ask them to subscribe, and they get weekly bonuses, subscriber only perks where maybe they get behind the scenes videos or exclusive Q&A sessions, using watermarks or features that YouTube provides so that it always makes it easy for people to subscribe to your video or to your channel. Make sure that that's always turned on. It's just very important to do that. It increases your channel's authority and visibility as you grow more and more subscribers. Again, it's just a great signal to YouTube that people find your content valuable enough to subscribe and want to be notified as you create brand new content. So serial views. So this is where, having a playlist that you create is really important, and having that set to autoplay, creating a video series, for example, a 30-day challenge or, a 7-day, a 7-day sprint or something like that, where people know that there's going to be a series of videos and they're going to come back and they're going to watch those over the course of whatever time frame you specify. That's really powerful. And with each video, have a little bit of a cliffhanger or a teaser to get them to make sure that they come back to catch the next video in that series or in that playlist. For example, come back tomorrow and I'll reveal how this particular tip helped me gather, increase my search rankings by 50% or something like that. So the longer people watch, the longer they stay on your channel, the more they watch all your videos all the way through. That's really gold to the algorithm. So that's really what you want to be focusing on. Then you also want to make sure that you're cross-promoting your content. As Jeff mentioned, content repurposing is a great strategy, and video is the best piece of content that I can think of to repurpose. You can use content, that you take from your YouTube video that you put on YouTube, turn it into YouTube Shorts. That's actually on the YouTube platform, but it's smaller bites, it's more consumable. Take certain clips, chunk them out, and post them on social media, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, Twitter, X, LinkedIn, whatever your platform of choice is. Upload those video clips directly to those channels so that you're maximizing the visibility of that video content, of those short clips that you're putting on the platform, because every one of these social media platforms, they want their own unique content posted. They don't like to send people off platform. But what you can do is you can upload short video content to Instagram or TikTok, Facebook, whatever, and then have a link and a call to action, and like a first comment to drive people to the full YouTube video, or to subscribe to your YouTube channel to learn more, or to take advantage of, some asset that you've created, that is tied to a video series that you've created. So there's really just, a lot of ways that you can do this. It's all about, just getting people to watch your videos and stay engaged, and take advantage of a lot of the features that that YouTube does give you advantage of. As Jeff, as you mentioned, I mean, I think a lot of people, they make the mistake where they literally just they create the video, they stick it up there, and that's all they do. They type in a minimal description because it's a pain in the butt, because it's like, oh yeah, I need to have a subscription. So they do it literally just to get the video posted. But you're missing a big opportunity if you're not taking advantage of these other strategies. And there are a whole series of tools I'm sure we'll probably talk about, that can help you do things to make it easier to manage your videos and increase your organic reach.
All right, good answers. Ian, analytics, thumbnails, shorts, all that. How does that help me improve my organic reach?
Yeah, I mean, if you don't know, I mean, to actually use analytics, you have to have created some videos and be able to look at the analytics, right, within YouTube. But it allows you to look at things like audience retention. Like, do people drop off in my video at a certain point? This is actually really good intelligence, because, if you're putting up really long form videos and people are dropping off at the same spot, that tells you something, right? The other one is click-through rates. It'll actually tell you what the measurement of particular videos, of how many people saw your thumbnail and how many people clicked on that thumbnail to super powerful, and that will lead into the discussion about thumbnails, but and then demographics and traffic sources. Where are people coming when they actually are watching my video? That's super powerful. And then engagement metrics like likes, comments, and shares. Are people engaging with the content that I'm creating? So all of that metric information is available through YouTube Studio. If you're not using it now, you should, especially if you're a content creator or have started and want to understand what content I should be creating. On top of all this, I would actually recommend, with all of the optimization conversation we've already had, I would highly recommend, like, an easy button for optimizing your content is to use things like vidIQ, Tubix. There's a bunch of plugins or extensions that you can use with YouTube. And what they allow you to do is not only see metrics at a deeper level in many cases, but they will help you do the keyword research related to the keywords and topics of the videos you even want to create. So they can help you in guiding actually what content you're going to be creating by giving you information that you really can't find anywhere else on YouTube. And then as far as I talked about how the analytics can actually tell you a little bit about click-through rates related to your thumbnails. It's really well known that one of the key things to actually getting people to click on your thumbnail into your video is the quality of thumbnail. Like, you absolutely have to create a compelling thumbnail that's going to get people to click on it. Some ways to do that Canva has some fantastic templates. You can use those to create really good thumbnails. Adobe Express is another option, but Canva just seems to be so ubiquitous now. Title optimization, those tools I mentioned can help you with the title optimization, and they can help you before. I mean, I always recommend doing this before. Like if you plan well, you'll execute better. So, but they can also help you do these optimizations after the fact once you've uploaded your video. Title optimization, really, really important, because if your title isn't compelling, your thumbnail's not compelling, why would anybody click on it? You can do split testing. You can test different thumbnails and different titles to see what's going on. And then lastly, shorts. Shorts, obviously, YouTube Shorts is a growing area. I don't think it's really caught on. It's certainly not at TikTok levels as far as popularity. But really, as Ken was talking about, both Ken and Jeff actually talked about repurposing content, creating short content from long form content. What it's so powerful at is it can be kind of more of a top of the funnel type content because it engages people. It kind of punches them in the face. They're like, whoa, I got to hear more of that, because people like getting punched in the face. Just some tips. Thanks, Ken. What's really powerful about those short form videos through YouTube Shorts is that you can focus on one idea. Like just get one idea across. Make it punchy, make it effective, make it powerful, and then make sure you turn on captions, or you can bake captions in as well. And then that is just a really great way to get that content out there that can then lead to your longer form content or some other resources you have.
Yeah, Ian, another great tool is TubeBuddy.
Yeah, I should have mentioned that. That's a very common one. Yeah, good point.
Yeah, Ian,
it's very very friendly, just the name, right? TubeBuddy.
Yeah.
When you were talking about the thumbnails, you hit on a pet peeve of mine. If you don't put your own thumbnail in, YouTube is going to go look into your video and it's going to find, these 2 or 3 or 4, I can't remember how many they have, places where it will it'll grab a frame of the video essentially and use that as the thumbnail. And they're not always that flattering. I mean, you might get one that's like,
it actually, I think that's part of the algorithm, Jeff. It waits till one eye's open and one eye's closed, and you have, stuff dripping out of your nose, and
and now, especially with the AI tools, it's so easy to generate good thumbnails, like you said, Canva.
Yeah.
And then some of the other things that you hit on for shorts, especially, there are tools that will take videos and will extract out shorts from them, put the Chrome around it, your titles, your intros, your outros will do the captioning, bubble words as you go. There's no shortage of ways to get that done. So almost, no excuse for not doing it.
Yeah. One quick additional point to all that is watch out for, computer generated, whether it's transcripts, right? Computer generated transcripts and captions. YouTube has that built in, not always perfect. And even the tools that you're talking about, Jeff, like have a human review the stuff. Mm-hmm. I can't tell you like the number of times we catch typos on my name, on, like various things. It will just get wrong. And it's very embarrassing, especially if you bake in captions on any the social media shorts or videos for your clients or for your business, and just want to do that.
Yeah. The other thing with captions, whether you use YouTube's and you take a look at what it did and correct it if you need to, or even upload your own, whether you use YouTube's or whether you use one of these tools that generates them, either or, don't do both. You don't want captions on top of captions. It's really hard to read.
We've all seen that, right?
Yep.
I mean, my preference now, having done this for a while, and maybe you guys have your own thoughts, but we use a tool predominantly called dissect for our video editing, which is incredible. But it will also do the transcriptions, right? Because you're basically working in the transcription to do the editing. And so it's just fantastic that way. So we upload our transcripts when we do videos from Descript, but there's other tools too, but that's just the one we found super, super helpful. Yeah.
There are many tools and their domains all have .ai on the end of them, right?
That's right. Yeah. Anyways, I won't go into it, but get using YouTube, people.
All right, Jeff. So what about YouTube Shorts?
Oh, shorts. You want me to hit more on shorts?
Oh, sorry. Did I cover your topic? I thought that was mine
No,
too.
that's.
No,
I
it's
think it
just
was.
we never really explained. Ken mentioned them, Ian mentioned them, but we never really explained what they were, why you want to use them, what they can do.
Yeah, and give you my take a little bit to expand on. We've already said. I think to a large part, their audience may be generational dependent, although I'm finding myself getting drawn into more and more shorts for some of the creators that I follow. Shorts are what they sound like. They're a short form media. They tend to be vertical because you've got more and more people that are, watching them on these things. And they're not going on for 8 or 10 minutes. Maybe a minute tops. They're punchy. They're to demonstrate something, to get the point across. But yeah, you keep doing that. You're scaring us all, Ken. That's that was that old Saturday Night Live. Hans and Franz gonna pump you up. So shorts are especially in the younger generation. So if that's a demographic that's important to you, YouTube Shorts, Facebook Reels, TikToks are all things to consider. But YouTube brought them out in response to TikTok, and I think Facebook. I'm not sure who came first. TikTok was first, but who came second? Facebook or YouTube. But they are the short, punchy, get your attention, be memorable. They tend to be sticky. They get talked about. They're not long, in depth, like I said, dissertations on how to dismantle an atomic bomb, to borrow a U2 album title. They're just short, to the point, be remembered, and get somebody to take an action. And if you're not doing them because, we've been on YouTube for 10 years, we never did shorts, and we don't need to do them now. Well, you're probably wrong if your target audience is on them. It always goes back to everything we say. Pay attention to what your target audience wants.
So can you use YouTube Shorts like Ken was talking about earlier about linking out to a long form video that covers the topic more in depth? Or is that not an appropriate use of shorts?
Think about that. I'd have to go look at the specific technical things for sure. I mean, at the very least, you can mention it. Hey, for more, go to my channel, because if you're on the short, you can easily get to the channel. I can't remember off the top of my head what linking capabilities they have them. I would think you probably could be able to, but even if they don't make it easy from a linking point of view, then look below. Click on my channel. Go look at the longer form. Go look at the playlists.
Yeah, I didn't know either. I didn't know if maybe you did.
Oh, caught us.
So, anyone else have anything more on this particular topic they want to add?
Yeah, I think, when we had Rand Fishkin on a couple of weeks ago, one of the things that he stressed is just, and Paul, I know you say this a lot, Google loves Google.
They do.
We all say it. And, YouTube is owned by Google. Therefore, and video content is the top performing content right now, and probably will be in the foreseeable future. Human brains are wired to remember visual content a lot better. And people, it's just a very powerful medium to be able to communicate. So I think you got to have a YouTube strategy. You're missing the boat if you're not doing it. And, as more and more content is created, what's going to be interesting to see is there's the potential for a mass proliferation of video content that is AI generated without any human oversight, review, involvement. Somebody just literally plugs in a prompt, generates a video, posts it out there, doesn't even think about it. So there's going to be a lot of work that's going to need to be done from the user base of YouTube to continue to vet and validate information. In some cases, that's going to outpace the ability of the tools and the algorithms that are out there. So, while it's exciting to think about what's possible, you can literally, like Julia McCoy, she has one of the coolest YouTube channels out there, in my opinion. She has an AI video avatar that delivers her YouTube video. It uses her voice, and it uses an AI, video clone of herself that she's used to train. What's cool about what she does, though, is she's a content writer. So she writes all of her content that her AI video clone says. So she's not just letting something be auto-generated without vetting it. She's actually writing that content and then using AI to be the spokesperson and the spokes voice, if you will, of that content, which I think is a really cool, fascinating idea. So definitely check out Julia McCoy's YouTube channel. Also, just fantastic source of information for anything going on in the world of AI.
Spurred a thought on, which is, a lot of people may have an aversion to doing video and creating YouTube. Oh, I don't want to be on camera. And Paul, you can, if you can gut through spending an hour or two to train one of these AI tools on your mannerisms. You actually go in front of it and you speak and you kind of run through, and it picks up different language patterns and gestures and how you would speak. And then after that, it's done, and you can generate a lot of content like Julia does that looks like you speaking, delivering the content. And yeah, I mean, you can look at it and you go, okay, yeah, that's probably AI, but does it matter if the content is well written and well delivered, well enough delivered? It's a way for people that aren't comfortable being on camera, don't want to take the time to be on camera, to be able to be on camera without having to go through the trauma every week of recording something.
Yeah, and that leads to another point where right now one of the hottest, best performing types of videos is faceless video, where there's not even a human that's on there. You may have a human AI voice, a human voice, or an AI generated voice, but the rest of the video is all generated content. And, those are performing exceptionally well. We're going to be having a guest coming up here in a month or so, Molly Mahoney, who I know can talk quite a bit about that. She's been very successful with that strategy. Don't let being on camera intimidate you and prevent you from doing video. We've got clients, there's no way they would ever be on video, but guess what? We can write a script for them. They review the script. They make sure it's accurate in the way it describes their business, their processes, what they do, what they value, whatever. We can get either voice actors or AI generated voice, and we can use a combination of their photos or videos that they provide, B-roll, which is just stock video that you can buy from sources, or you can have created. Your clients can create B-roll if they wanted to, and you can assemble super quality videos that no human has to show up and be on camera. To the extent that you can, it's great. Rand Fishkin also talked about the power of persona. And if you're a good, appealing, attractive, in however you define the word attractive, spokesperson, you probably already have a leg up on some of your competitors, or maybe all of your competitors. Video is the best platform to take advantage of that. Whether right or wrong, it's kind of the reality.
And I would just add a point to that, and that's don't be lazy. Review the content AI creates and fix obvious issues. I've actually been on the treadmill watching a video of something I'm interested in, and they've done just what you've talked about, Ken, faceless videos. The content, the audio content is exactly what I was looking for. But as I'm watching it, I'm like, this is stupid. Like some of the visuals, they obviously did not watch it and go, that doesn't relate. That doesn't relate. Like, right. Because right. You have to remember AI is a bot, right? It's not particularly good at not being absolutely what's the word I'm looking for?
Well, up to date for one. Accurate.
Well, that literal though is the word. Literal is the word I was thinking of. Okay. It takes things very literally sometimes, which isn't what you were doing. The last things I wanted to mention though, and we didn't really go into this, but make sure your content has a purpose. Like, don't just be like, man, this is the latest thing, I got to create content. So you jump in and start creating content, because there's lots of people that just want to check things off check the box off in their task list. So create it with a purpose, know what that purpose is, and then here is the ultimate commandment: know thy audience. Like, you have to know your audience, or you're just wasting your time, energy, effort. AI processors, like, know thy audience. Look at the metrics as you create content and see what people are actually gravitating towards.
So Ian, it almost sounds like you advocate having a content calendar and including video on that calendar.
Dude,
having a plan, right?
That's you are brilliant. Yes, everybody create a content calendar and have a column or a row on video content. I love it, Jeff.
As along with all the other content. And again, keep in mind that you're going to be working common themes, and they're going to play off each other, and you can derive different forms of content from other forms of content.
Right. I think this is probably a good place to wrap up. Thank you, everyone, for sharing your thoughts and insights on this topic. And thanks to our audience. And Ian, can you take us out?
Yeah, I think so. Thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. We're so glad you're part of our community. Please share with other people that you think will find this valuable. There's other business owners, other small business marketers that need help. Save them the pain of going down the wrong paths. So share this. Smash that subscribe button, as Ken likes to say. Smash it. Punch it. Punch that subscribe button.
That's in the how to do YouTube videos, because I hear everybody saying that now. I had to get a new keyboard. I was smashing buttons so hard.
There you go. So thanks for being with us today. And until next week, keep calm and video market on.